Welcome to Busy Little Bee, where opinions sting, but the vibes stay sweet. Let the mayhem swing, let the vibes stay sweet. Let the mayhem sting, but the vibes stay sweet. Then subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the buzz.
Hey everybody, it's Busy Little Bee. Welcome back to my channel. This has been a long time coming. I did want to document this even though it's late. This is some Busy Bee ice cold tea. I'm sorry I'm late on this, but I did want to document all of the screenshots that Emily sent to Rachel and kind of break down what it tells us and what it shows us about Amber, about Emily, about their relationship dynamic, and about what happened to Rarity. That's my biggest concern in this, because as far as I'm concerned, Amber and Emily are both grown adults who are both very toxic anyway. So when they get together, of course, it's going to be a toxic dynamic. But when we see Rarity become the innocent victim is where I start to have a problem. So let's go ahead and see what Emily sent Rachel, shall we? Remember, there are a total of 77 screenshots.
So in this video, I have 77. 77 is my favorite number.
So there will be a lot of reading, but I will be doing that for you so you can do whatever you need to do and just put me on in the background if you want. This first one starts November 17th, 2024 at 4:05 a.m. Amber says, "This is what I wrote to you at 2:27 a.m. in the morning right before I told you I loved you and you scooted back closer to me. I'm about to go to sleep, but I am laying here thinking about the night we just had. I was in such a bad mood and I'm sorry. I truly was in the weirdest headspace and I was just trying to live in the moment. But I'm sorry if you noticed I wasn't feeling very well. It was emotionally and physically. I've been so stressed with everything going on that I kind of shut down emotionally. I wish I could redo the night, honestly, but we have another night when you get off work that I hope I can make up for it during. I love you more than I can ever express. You were so sweet, gentle, and understanding today, knowing how I've been feeling. You mean the world to me, and I cannot wait to spend more days with you and being close with you. I wish we were skin to skin right now. See you in the morning, baby." And then another. I originally was going to send it for you to wake up to, but I didn't want the vibration to wake you up. Then an hour and a half later, you woke up thinking we were arguing when I was literally sleeping. I don't understand what just happened at all, and I feel lost, absolutely lost. When you woke up as if we were arguing, I without a doubt reacted from PTSD, from my childhood. Some people suffer from PTSD and from night terrors and can wake up from a dream thinking it's real. Now, that is, I believe, what happened, but only because these two were arguing so much. It was an assumption that they would be arguing. But I think that Amber woke her up with a bright light in her face, and that's what made Emily angry and think that something was going on. But we're going to keep reading and see what else we can glean from these. Emily says, "You don't ever say what you just said to me. Like, this doesn't even sound like you. Hello?" Amber says, "When my dad would wake me up screaming." Emily says, "That's unforgivable. You physically laid hands on me." Now, right away, Emily is saying, "You physically laid hands on me." She is already saying what her problem is. Amber says, "I was trying to calm you down and hold you. In doing so, I tripped over the blanket on the floor. Pretty sure I hurt my ankle." Of course, she's got to be a victim. Emily says, "By pushing me and squeezing my arm and body slamming me when I was trying to leave?" Amber said, "I wondered how you ended up on the floor, but that explains it. My fat fucking bullshit of a body knocked you over." Can you imagine? Emily stays steadfast. "You literally pushed me. That's how I ended up on the floor." Amber says, "I didn't body slam you. I didn't mean to squeeze your arm. What the hell is happening? You imagined a whole argument while you were sleeping, Emily. That scared the fuck out of me. Now you're thinking I put you on the floor? I would never do something like that on purpose, ever. Okay, let's take a minute here. Were they arguing before this whole thing? Maybe not, maybe. It seems Amber is saying, we weren't even arguing, you were asleep, I was asleep, whatever. But now she's trying to make Emily believe that Emily also dreamt that she was body slammed and her arm was all grabbed and scratched up. That is insane, the gaslighting she's doing. Emily said, you literally did that after you told me I deserved to be abused. I'm sorry, AMBERLYNN, but being with you is not worth this bullshit. You just ruined any chance of this ever working. Amber says, okay. Emily says, you wouldn't push me, and that's out of the question, but you grabbed me, right? Amber says, but yet I've full-fledged had to deal with your rampages, where you say the most awful shit anyone has ever said to me, and I've had to forgive you and move on. Over and over and over and over and over and over. Can you imagine? Oh my God. She's the type to blow up your phone with like 6 messages in a row. Emily says, this is why I don't open up to anyone, and I was stupid to trust you. Oh, Amber starts going in all caps. You have said the same stuff to me about Jade, about everyone in my life, telling me that I must have made Jade abuse me. You said that, but I forgave you, like I always do. Emily says, I asked what the circumstances that led up to her hitting you. Amber says, yeah, you've asked that, but during an argument, you told me that I pushed her to do it. Amber continues, and I had to sit there and hear you say that about me. I cried and cried, but I still accepted your apology. What I said tonight wasn't okay. It was awful. I wasn't in my right mind. Waking up like that felt like my childhood. I was scared. You know, Amber, that's the problem. When you're 34 years old, you can't keep using your childhood as a fucking excuse for your awful behavior. Amber continues. I tried to explain to you that we weren't arguing, and I wanted you to read the sweet thing I wrote you so you could understand how much I loved you. But you were so rude to me, I flipped out. You don't have to accept my apology, but I am sorry. Emily. You were shining a bright light in my face. Amber says, it was the note part on my phone. Emily said, I told you to stop. That's not being rude. Amber says, it was the lowest light setting too. It's because we were in the pitch black. It seemed brighter than it was. Amber continues, I just wanted to fix it. I thought you had a nightmare, so I wanted to prove we weren't fighting. And I failed, yet again. I always fail. Everything ends up like this. Emily says, so you attack me mentally and physically? Amber says, I hate myself. No. Emily says, you did though. Amber said, I'm explaining to you that I was trying to hold you and calm you down before you got in your truck and did something stupid. That's more of that gaslighting bullshit that she does. Oh, I was trying to hold you and calm you down. I wasn't knocking you over and grabbing your arm like a fucking lunatic. Amber continues, if you notice, she sends multiple texts where Emily just says one. Amber says, the life insurance thing scares me. I didn't want you to do anything bad. I didn't want you to hurt yourself. I was half asleep and not thinking clearly. I don't think you understand how scared I was when you woke me up like that. Instant PTSD fight mode. Flight wasn't even an option. Emily says, how could you? Amber says, I asked you that same question in my head multiple times. During your rages, you've hurt me so bad. Emily says, PTSD or not, you don't lay hands on anyone. Amber says, and I always forgave you. The way you're saying I laid my hands on you is scaring me. I didn't hit you. I didn't intentionally push you. I didn't intentionally scratch you. I never would. I scratch you on accident when we are literally just cuddling. Amber, I thought you said you didn't have nails so you couldn't scratch anybody. What happened to that? Emily responds by saying, my rage is where I try to leave and you don't let me because I have PTSD. Okay, Amberlynn, whatever makes you feel better or justify your aggressive behavior. Amber says, you know I'd never hurt you, Emily. Okay, I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry for what happened. I'll leave. Good idea. Emily says, you fucking grabbed your arms and dug your nails into my arm and then body slammed me to the floor. Amber says, what? In all caps. What? You know, you can hear her bullshit ass gaslighting. I don't know what that means. Now the gaslighting gets really, really thick, so, put on your shields. Amber says, Emily, that did not happen. I have never done that a day in my life. You are way fucking stronger than me, and you know that. I'm weak as fuck, and we always joke about that. Now all of a sudden I body slam people? Emily says, I was trying to get out of the room and you slammed me to the floor. Amber says, no, I did not, Emily. What the fuck? I'm leaving. This is fucking insane. Now let's go back and look again at screenshot number 3. This is where Amber says, I was trying to calm you down and hold you. In doing so, I tripped over the blanket on the floor. Pretty sure I hurt my ankle. I wondered how you ended up on the floor, but that explains it. My fat fucking bullshit of a body knocked you over. Like a body slam. Emily says, then how did I end up on the floor, Amberlynn? Amber says, I just told you. I was trying to hold on to you. I tripped on the fucking blanket on the floor. I almost went down too. That is how I hurt my ankle. I just explained that to you. I would never, ever, never, ever do that. When you were on the floor, I tried helping you up, but you wouldn't get up. So I started rubbing your back and telling you it'll be okay. You told me not to touch you, so I stopped touching you. Emily said, because you knew you fucked up big time. Amber says, my goal was to hold you and calm you down. It scares me that you actually think I'd do that to you. Emily says, because you did do that, Amberlynn. Amber says, with everything you've been through with Megan, I can understand why. No, I didn't, Emily. I'm literally telling you that's not what happened. I'm telling you what happened. And you won't listen to me. I even said, fuck, my ankle. Amber, you're telling her what she was there for, and you're not telling the correct story. You're acting like Emily doesn't have a hold on reality, and I think all of us know that you are clearly the one not living in reality here. Emily says, but I deserved it, right? Megan trying to kill me, I deserved that. Amber says, no, you didn't. My God, Emily. Emily says, you literally fucking said that. Amber says, no, I didn't. I said you pushed Megan, didn't you? I should have never said that. In my brain, I remembered what you said about Jade. Since I was angry, I wanted to say it back to you, and I shouldn't have. I regret it. I take full accountability. Do you want me to call my mom? Because I will call her right now. You'll notice that Amber uses her mom a lot in these texts. I don't want to go through all of them. I just want to kind of get to the fact that this was going on all day, all these texts, and only when she realizes that the gaslighting isn't working, the manipulation isn't working, her sad act isn't working, nothing else is working, she finally gets to Rarity. So I'm going to skip over quite a bit of stuff. If you want to see the full thing, go to Rachel Reacts. She has every single screenshot. I don't really need to highlight everything, but I want to get to Rarity because to me, that's what's important. These are two very toxic people in a very toxic dynamic. Neither one of them should be with anyone but a therapist. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get closer to where the Rarity thing came up. The screenshot we're looking at right here at the bottom, it's November 17th around 3:30 in the afternoon. They had gotten a delivery from Papa John's Pizza and they didn't order it. So Emily was saying, can you go to the door? And Amber then confirms that she went to the door and told them that she didn't order it. So, with the back door and the front door being on the same patio, she would have been able to know if the door was open or not for Rarity to get out at that point. It wouldn't have been hours later when she says for the first time, I haven't seen Rarity all day, so let's go ahead and jump over there. Of course, before she gets to Rarity, she's going to, of course, blame her BPD, and Emily saying, I can't handle the BPD episodes. Like, it's too much. I get triggered by you screaming at me over something like not asking nice enough to go outside and smoke for alone time. And Amber doing what she did in every other abusive relationship she has been in, which, in my opinion, she has been emotionally abusive to all of her partners. She says, I'm getting help for the BPD episodes, except she's not. She still hasn't. We still see her going live trying to argue about this shit months and months later. This is where the BPD rage starts, in my opinion, and this is where Rarity is in danger, in my opinion. Because look at what she's saying. Emily says, you literally grabbed me and dug your nails into me last night. And Amber says, no, I didn't. Emily says, are you kidding me? Amber says, you told me I scratched you and now I grabbed you with my nails? What nails, Emily? You don't need to have long nails to make an imprint, to scratch anything. It can be done on accident. It can be done on accident, but you are grabbing her with such force that your little nubs of fingernails dug into her skin. We saw the pictures. And she's going on, and you could see in this next screenshot, she's just trying so hard to get her feelings out and to get Emily to respond, and nothing is working. Another small little detour before we get to Rarity. This is another one where Emily is just asking for some accountability and saying, admit what you did and tell me you're sorry. And Amber's non-apology is, Emily, from the bottom of my heart, I don't remember squeezing you. I remember grabbing you to hold you and calm you down. And Emily says, how can you not? Amber says, if I squeezed and hurt you, I'm sorry. Emily says, you were screaming in my face, not calming me down. That totally blows her whole argument of, I was trying to hold you and calm you down, completely out of the water. And then you see Amber again trying everything she can. She's running out of tools in her arsenal. You know what's next. So this is the lead up to Rarity finally being brought up. Emily is at her wit's end. She says, there is no overcoming this. You'll be nice to me for a week, and then it's going to go back to the way you have been treating me. I'm sure you'll, quote, clean like you have been this whole time you've been here, i.e. not at all. Leave me with ruined, brand new carpeting and ruined rugs and a broken soul. Amber says, please don't act innocent in this. You've been awful to me too. We both have. We have both also apologized to one another. Yes, it does keep happening, but can we figure out how to stop it? Emily says, I've had moments where I snap on you. A person can only take so much, AMBERLYNN. And this is where Amber, I think, gets it, that she's done. Emily is done. Amber says, I agree. So am I leaving? Wait, I read that wrong. I also have moments where I've snapped on you. I haven't been able to find Rarity all day. I need help finding her, please. I've been calling her name and looking everywhere all day. That's not true, as evidenced by the fact that if the door was open, she would have known when she went to get the Papa John's pizza at 3:30 in the afternoon. She would have known when she took the dogs out at, any time during the day. But we're now at 10:06 in the evening. Ma'am, Emily says, I'm afraid to come home, to be honest. Can you imagine your own home that you pay the mortgage on, you're afraid to go back to? And then Amber says, I didn't go to the back porch. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to cause you any stress. You can come home and go into the bedroom. I'll stay in the living room till you wake up for work. Ugh. But again, no worry about Rarity, just like, please come home. That's very interesting to me. While allegedly in a panic, realizing that her cat is missing and she's nowhere to be found, Amber only cares about Emily. You have no idea how much I miss you and regret everything. Can I prove to you that I love you? Let me prove it to you. Come home, go upstairs. I'll give you a melatonin. I'll fix the bed. I'll tuck you in. I'll kiss your forehead goodnight. I'll turn the lights off and I'll let you sleep alone so you can get a restful night's sleep. I want to love you. I can't help it. This is very much giving Amber Heard with Johnny Depp, in my opinion. Emily says, if you didn't hurt me on purpose, why would you regret it? Get real. I don't want you to touch me. Amber says, I regret anything I've done that has hurt you. Oh, where is the concern for Rarity? That's where I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Tomorrow we will be talking about all the different stories so far. Amber has told about how Rarity allegedly got out. There are many stories, so it might be another longer video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for being patient for this upload. It was hard to decide what text to include and what to highlight. A lot of people know she's a gaslighter, she's a manipulator, she tries to rewrite history. But what's got me upset is Rarity because, like I said, Amber and Emily are both adults who make their own decisions and who honestly were probably both horrible to each other. But Rarity didn't deserve to be left out in the snow, in the winter, in the middle of Wisconsin, where she had no idea where the hell she was at or how to get home. So Rarity is the victim in this, in my opinion. If you agree, please hit that like button, and I will see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to Busy Little Bee, where opinions sting, but the vibes stay sweet. Let the baying swing, let the vibes stay sweet. Let the baying sting, but the vibes stay sweet. Then subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the buzz.